in the vinyl community. It's me, Carl Langer. I just wanted to quickly show what I picked up for records today. I was just jamming out here to Pearl Jam Give Way, which of course is a live show from their Yield tour. Excellent set list. Got a bunch of sweet tracks there. This is really great record store day release. This is awesome. You have Jack Irons in the band still, right before he would, take a break slash they replaced him. Jack Irons, great drummer. Was important in the part of forming the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which he would leave kind of right before they kind of made it big, and then he would join Pearl Jam. Great drummer, and then he would leave Pearl Jam in '98, kind of in the middle of this tour, right after they played Australia. It's great. Jack Irons, great drummer. Did lots of other projects. Was involved in lots of other bands too. Love the cover on this with the kind of matte black top with the glossy picture in the middle. Gives it a really cool look. Album sounds great. Awesome. Next one I picked up here this was a Canadian exclusive release, I guess, and it's Chuck by Sum 41. This is a great Sum 41 album. One of my favorites. When I was a kid, they put out a live album called Go Chuck Yourself, which I would love if they put out on vinyl. Maybe they'll put that out for the next record store day or something. They always do like a cool splatter. Last year they did Does This Look Infected, which is their album previous to this one. And they did on multiple different pressing variations, but this one they only did the one. It's like a green transparent, and then there's kind of like some red streaks in there to kind of match the cover. This is probably Sum 41's strongest album. This is where I really got into Sum 41 beyond their singles. This is the album that really I listened to. This came out when I was in high school. Just really kind of brought me into the band beyond just the singles. Of course, there's great singles on here too. No Reason, Pieces, Some Say, like lots of great tunes. This is a great album. Really happy they put it out for Record Store Day. Love the kind of foil cover that they put on it. Really great. They called the album Chuck because they talk about it on the inside of the album cover or on the inner sleeve. But basically Chuck was a guy who worked for the UN, and they were over in the Congo filming a documentary, and basically they came under attack, and this guy Chuck evacuated them along with a bunch of other people kind of out, and they had to get out of the country to safety, and they named the album after Chuck. They thank Chuck on the inside, and then they thank a bunch of other people who also helped them kind of get out of a bad situation. So really cool. Love Sum 41 as a band. Kind of unlike their peers. I find like Billy Talent, kind of another Canadian band, and Blink 182. I just find musically they're better. Their live sets really sounded good. They really put on a great sounding live show. The albums were always really well recorded, really well produced too. It was just like they're just my favorite, I think, from this era. Next one I picked up here is I picked up the Dead box set. Pretty excited about this. This is the May 7th, 77 in the Boston Garden. Great show. Love picking up these Dead boxes. Always really well put together. The boxes are always beautiful. You can see the foil on that. Great set here from this era of the band, 77. Show sounds great. Again, they do the plangent process on this. which is I think basically where they digitize the records, but the guy has like a way of like basically he corrects the tape speeds and it's supposed to be super high res transfer stuff like that, and then the records are cut by Chris Bellman and pressed really well, and yeah, really highly recommend always picking up these Dead boxes if you love the band. They put out some great shows and sounds always super great on these. Last thing I picked up for Record Store Day is the Taylor Swift Folklore Long Pond Session Studios. Yeah, this is great. Glad she put this out for Record Store Day. Sound on this is amazing. Basically, it's, I think, like kind of they had to kind of record this album separately because of COVID, and so they kind of came together in this spot here and just kind of like play the album all together. The album Folklore sounds gorgeous. The playing on it's amazing. Songs are super well written. Yeah, just everything about it's kind of incredible. Really happy she put this out for Record Store Day. She did like a 2-record thing here on just kind of like a gray to match the. Everyone was out there to pick this up, and I mean, good reason. She's excellent artist. She writes great songs. She writes real songs, and which is tough to come by these days. And I can dig that. Last thing I picked up here, kind of another product of the Dead, and that is Jerry Garcia's 50th anniversary limited edition to 10,000 copies of Garcia. This is a great record. It's so great. The first side, I mean, it's just 4 perfect songs. You have Deal, Birdsong, Sugary, Loser. These songs would go on to be in the Dead staples in their live set for years to come. And then side 2 of this album, Jerry Garcia just goes on this exploratory, different sounds, kind of like this, very spacey sounding stuff. It's very cool, very beautiful, very listenable. Sometimes that avant-garde stuff can kind of be like a little bit tough to listen to sometimes, but when Jerry does it, it's just so beautiful, and the way he weaves it all together, it's so great. And then of course he has To Lay Me Down's on that side, and then you have The Wheel also on that side. So just beautifully all interwoven. It's just all so beautiful, perfect album. Jerry, of course, recorded this whole album by himself. He played all the parts in it by himself. Of course, with just the Robert Hunter, contributing some vocals and obviously writing the lyrics for the songs. And then you also have Bill Kurtzman, the drummer for the Grateful Dead, also involved playing drums on this. But other than that, Jerry played the whole thing by himself, sang. It's just a masterpiece. Really, it's just a masterpiece album. So they put this out for the 50th anniversary. I think it came out end of 2022. The album was originally released in 72. They put this hype sticker on it. You can see there where it just says limited to 10,000 copies, gold nugget vinyl. And then they also put in an extra disc of alternate takes and stuff that were released on a Jerry Garcia expanded version of the album back in 2004, I think. So that's really cool to have as well. I own multiple copies. They've repressed this album many times. Here's a look at the cool gold vinyl. It's tough to see in the camera, but like it's kind of it's transparent gold, and then when you like hold it into the light, it like really shimmers like gold leaf. It's actually really beautiful. Highly recommend picking this up, even if you have some of the other reissues. I think the bonus material on here is definitely worth it. Now there was the previous reissues of this. There was based off a cut by Kevin Gray. This album does not use that cut. They did recut it. I've listened to it. This cut, I'm not sure who did it. Sounds great. It says on the back the mastering credits are Joe Gastwort and Fred Kevorkian have the mastering credits on the back here. But yeah, this sounds really, really good. Highly recommend it. Fantastic album. Beautiful. Jerry. What more can you say? As far as Record Store Day goes, I loved it this year. It was definitely a little bit busier, but I thought there were so many great releases. It was really tough to make some decisions. I went in the morning. I kind of went after the lines. As I usually do, I don't really. I kind of go a little bit later, kind of let all the lineup people go through, and then I kind of come in a little later in the morning. Usually, everything I want's kind of still there. What most people are lining up for usually isn't what I want. And this year with the Taylor Swift, they kind of pressed so many copies that even though I came in late, there were still lots of copies available for me to kind of snag up. Then I kind of usually take a break during the day, and then I like to come back in the evening, kind of right before the store closes when it's quieter, and really kind of have a nice slow look through the releases that are kind of left over. And so yeah, that's what I did. So in the morning, I picked up the Taylor Swift, the Dead box, and the Sum 41. And then when I came back later, I ended up picking up the Pearl Jam and the Garcia. The Garcia wasn't a Record Store Day release, but it's a cool limited release, and I was kind of waiting for it to come out. Super excited. So anyway, that's it for me. That was my Record Store Day. Loved it. Had a great time this year. Got lots of cool stuff as always. Take care.